Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Taco Imposters for May 1st, Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. I was just watching a video here on by who's it by? Anthony Gauda Gauda. Anyway, talking about exposure and all that stuff and like how to expose for a how to expose for a like background for a picture when the subject is in front of like light or something where it's not good. And I thought to myself, okay, because he says like, oh, expose for the background, expose for the top, expose for. I'm like, expose for the background basically, or the sky or something like that. And I'm like, you can't really expose on film, can you? Because I'm looking at my one photo, right, or my three photos that I took, or I didn't take, but were taken of people, and then the background of that, and I'm just like, but I can't. You can't like expose for anything, right? Can I? I can't choose to say I want this or want that, do I? It was exposed for the background, sorry, for the foreground rather than the background, which is good. It's a better photo in that case. Cause I sent it to the guys on the subreddit, on the on the Discord, film photography is not dead, or film is not dead, or something like that. Anyway, and they were like, I'm like, why is it the back so blown out? And he goes, well, cause they exposed for the front. And I go, and I sent them the two pictures, which is one was the instant photo from the Instax, and then it's from the and then my photos, and you went, oh, those are so much better. Yours are so much better. I was like, oh, are they now? Well, yeah, you could see the people. Yeah, but the back didn't blow out so bad in this one. Yeah, but it was. But can you tell anybody in this photo? And I'm like, some people, sure. Oh my gosh. So yeah, photos. I don't know. There's that's a thing, right? In my opinion, it's like, well, okay, what are you going for with photos? What? Because I've said this before. What is a photo, right? And for a lot of people, a photo is just. Also, I was watching a video about different cameras, and I'm watching videos about cameras, and I'm looking and I'm going, what is a great camera? What makes a camera amazing? What makes a camera amazing? What makes a camera? What is a good camera? It's like, well, the best camera is the camera you have on you, and it always will be. Because the thing with that is, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm telling you right now, 90% of people who take photos, maybe not 90, maybe like 75%, at least 50, but maybe 75% of people are like the type of people who go, right? Sorry, the type of people who are like, well, I don't really care, just, sorry, sorry, I don't really care, I just want a photo. I don't really care how it comes out. I just want a photo. And then, like, I don't care, I like my phone, I'm fine with it. The other thing is, it's another one of those things, too, where it's like, well, um, where it's like, well, wait a sec. Or like, no, sorry. Where it's like, well, I've never seen anything other, right? No real, never seen a real camera. They've never seen, like, they've never seen sorry. They've never seen a real camera. They've never seen, what I mean by that is like a dedicated camera. They've never seen a, never seen a other, like, phone. So they're just kind of sitting in that, like, sure. They don't know what better is. They've seen maybe one or two. They've only seen like one or two maybe phones. They've seen like some guy's Android phone and their iPhone. And to be honest, my mother made this point once. She was using an iPhone 8, I think, and I was using a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. And she was like, "I like your photos better, like the quality of them, but I don't like the color." So I'm like, "Oh, so you like the iPhone's color reproduction better?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah, I do." It's like, okay, fair. Like, so she's only seen like two. I've only seen like maybe like five in my life. I've never like compared all the cameras and done like that like side by side blind controlled study, where I'm like, okay, yeah, well, here we go. Here's like all the major cameras, Pixel, Samsung, this one, that one, iPhone, this, that, and the other thing, where I can like objectively, critically look at them all and be like, okay, well, I subjectively like this one better. Like, oh, this one is better. Objectively do a test where like the objective test for a subjective outcome. You know, I just don't. And so for me, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. So yeah, there's lots of cool cameras out there. You want to shoot photography or videography, pull out your phone and just take them. If you have manual controls, do that, and then just go do your research. My opinion is go do your research. What I mean by that is just go do your research. Go do the research of finding out what camera you like, what camera is good. Go to a camera store, ask to see if you can use cameras, ask, like, figure out what's good, go ask the people who know what they're doing, go ask the videographers and the cinematographers and the photographers and the directors and the cameramen and the this and the other that, you know? Right? To figure out what camera you like, yada yada. And then if you like film or not film, if you want digital, if you want, you know, cinema cameras, or, you know, you want, you know, DSLR or mirrorless or whatever, right? I'm just saying, like, point and shoot, doesn't matter, you know? Rangefinder, whatever. So that's what I have to say about that. Because, like, it's not that hard. I always say this, it's like playing the game of Tetris or doing a few other things where it's super easy to do, but it's really hard to master. Or, like, photography is one of those, wow, it's insanely easy to do, but it's like, just easy. Come on, it's one of the easiest things you can do. Take a photo. It's not that hard, but it's not. It's a complicated thing to master, because once you have to like learn the exposure triangle, which is aperture, ISO, shutter speed. Everything affects light. That's all it does. Because I was watching the video by the the Studio Channel, and it was David from MKBHD. David, he's explaining how, because he got a camera from a guy, not cheap, but that was 3D printed, because it's a very specialized thing. But yeah, and he's explaining like the camera obscura, which is basically just, hey, light comes onto a film, because it's a full frame or one, whatever the big films are. Anyway, the long wide films. Anyway, film. And he's talking about like it's just a light comes onto a film. That's it. That's all it's for. And technically, it can be a box with a pin and a piece of tape or a flap on it, and you just open it and then close it. You know. There's a good video by the Modern Rogue that like they do like experiments on what films to do what, you know, how to do what. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so in my opinion, so yeah, you know, cameras, you know. Anyway, so the cameras are like, you know, and he's explaining like that's the fundamentals of it, like, right? It's like film, you know. Anyway, like exposure triangle, so like it's film, and he's talking about all that, and like, oh man, there's a lot to think about in that kind of stuff. It's very much a lot of, look, I don't know. I'm just saying that cameras are like, because all those YouTubers always say, or all those people always ask like YouTubers, well, how do I get into making YouTube videos? How do I do this? How do that? What equipment do I need? It's like, grab a $60 Rode Video Micro, connect it into or connect whatever you want into your, just get a cheap microphone that can go into your phone. You get either a gimbal or just like some kind of something that you can have, like, you can attach with your microphone too, and then that's it. And you start using your phone, like, maybe a tripod, maybe this, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all. Just do it. And then upgrade if you really want, but you don't need to. If your content is good, and your sound is good, your video can be crap, and they don't care. Nobody cares. Your video can be garbage, and nobody cares. And that's the kind of thing that people are, like, they're intimidated by with all the equipment that they don't understand. It's like, it's not hard. Editing may be a hard thing, like, maybe the hardest part, or one of the hardest parts at the first, because you're like, oh, how do I edit my videos? How do I do that? You know, you learn that. But other than that, it's really easy. It's not that hard to make YouTube videos. If you have an idea, just make it. Right? If you have an idea, just make it. Who cares? Like, legitimately, who gives a flying fatootie? Like, nobody cares. And what do I mean by that? I mean exactly what I mean. Nobody cares. Your quality, and if they do, do not take it personally at all. Do not believe the mean comments. You know, reading mean comment, reading hate comments, reading mean comments, right? So yeah, just don't. And if you have that mindset of I'm never gonna believe these people, I'm never gonna read them, right? Then don't. Right? You'll be fine. If you're going to do YouTube videos, if you're going to do real stuff, ooh, that's a whole different thing though, because you're not going to be, taken seriously if you're using your iPhone or your Android phone. You're not. Your smartphone. You're not. But if you can produce great stuff with it, geez Louise. I mean, I thought to myself one time, I'm like, oh, I could, in theory, use my phone to make a movie. It's like, well, yeah, and I found like the like 2 or 3 movies that like were made on iPhones, and you can really tell. That is like that is seriously. You can tell that's made on a phone because it's got that weird phone look. It's hard to explain, but you can tell. Like I can always tell whenever someone jumps from a real camera to a phone in a video, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's someone's iPhone or that's this, because it's just a different kind of look out outcome, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying like that is definitely jarring, and I can tell. So yeah, I'm just like go, create, go be. You want to make a business doing this thing? Do this, do that, do that. I'm trying to figure out my business for 360 virtual tours. My friend's a videographer. All that stuff, right? It's like really cool. Like just do it. It's not that hard. She wants to also do because I would love to do to make an animation studio, start an animation studio, and then she wants to do pottery. Pottery. Well, yeah, pottery. That's what it's called, right? Pottery. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, she's made a few things in pottery, and she realizes that like she's already done a few of these traded time for experience for or time for like something, not money. I'm like, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, but this or that's not going to pay my bills, not going to give me food. It's like no, but you can do every so often say, oh, instead of paying me, can I just have classes for this, or can I just have this product, or can we trade for this, or can we trade for that? Because it's like really like, ooh, you know, I'd love that for certain things. For a lot of it, though, I have to pay for actual. I mean, pay money. You know. So yeah, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Just go do. You want to do, and that's the thing. Everybody and their mother has a freaking, phone in their pocket that'll work super well. That'll just work for what you need. Phone in your pocket that'll be amazing. That'll just work. You know what I mean? I don't like the barrier to entry is so low now that so low that the people have no excuse now. Most of the things are technically like what you would call, in brackets, free. And what I mean by free is like every photo you take is free. Your phone, you already own said phone. There's free software for your computer, video editing stuff. You're not paying. It's not going to cost you $1 million to make a movie. It can cost. You can cost significant. It can be significantly less, or a TV show, or this or that, or whatever you want to do. You can make money off of it. It's crazy. The internet changed the world in that way. You can make money just by like sitting on your bum, maybe sitting in your room with a webcam, streaming video or something, just standing there talking, sitting there talking. Like it's kind of crazy. To be honest, it's kind of insane. I don't think it's like the greatest thing to do, but obviously, like anything, it's like, well, yeah, right? It's actually really cool how people can make money from basically doing very little in this day and age. Not that I'm saying you're not doing anything, you're not contributing, you're not whatever. What I'm saying is you're not doing anything that's too super complicated, and barrier to entry is very high. All you need is a degree. You need to know, you know, quantum computing, and you need to know like you need to be a rocket scientist, or you have to be a mathematician, or you need to be this like genius, super genius. No. And oh, you need $1 billion because it's all expensive stuff you need. It's like no, you can just get into it and do it. It's really not that hard. Am I saying you don't need any of it? No, but I'm just saying like yeah, definitely can just get into things way more. Almost anything nowadays. Making a video game, coding, apps for coding, websites for coding this, doing that, art, anything. Look, there's no excuse for you to sit on your ass and do nothing. There's none. The only excuse is you're a lazy ass and you don't want to do anything. Now, see, I haven't done super much with my life up to this point, but I've done things. What I'm saying is, there's no excuse as to why you can't just do something in this stage. You have a dream, do it. You have a dream, just do it. You have a dream, just do it. Like, who cares? You have a dream, just pursue it. Do it and pursue it. Like, it's not that hard. Now, there is that whole, like, learning curve, obviously, for almost anything. But, if you're willing to go through that learning curve and, like, learn it, there's no excuse for you to not know how to do something that you want to do. Nothing. Zero excuse. Legitimately zero excuse. Zero. Gone are the days where you have to go to college to be to become a genius in said field, or you have to just be a genius in that said field, right? Gone are those days because you don't need that anymore. You can just go learn it your own way and on your own pace and whatever. It's crazy. Also, I think college is a waste of money, but I think I said in the last episode, so I may have said in the last episode, I may not. Yeah, yep, I think college is a waste of money, but that's only because you can learn so much now through. Also, there's so many of those like liberal arts, what do you call it? You know, political science kind of crap where like you're learning about the, you know, current events and politics and all that stuff, and you just learn all that kind of stuff. My friend was saying how she like wasted time in those stupid classes where it's like I don't need to know this. A, also, and B, I can find out all the stuff that I'm already learning just by experiencing, living, and talking to people in life. Like, why am I wasting my life in any of this? Doing any of this? Like, why? Why would I be doing any of this? It's such a waste of my life. What I mean by that is, it's such a like, okay, why would I do this? I could just talk in life. Like, she needed just useless classes that were in there. She did. She needed useless classes that were right. Where it's like she's like she needed a bunch of useless classes on top of that. And now it's like, because you need like a history class, and you need some French classes, and you need some. This is in Quebec at least. You need some for CJEP. You need some like, stupid like useless classes that are. She was just like, why am I taking any of these? So she dropped out and was like, this is ridiculous. She makes good money now being a videographer, and she's never looked back with about a year. You know, sad, but oh well. Anyway, that she's gone, but oh well. And so yeah, I think it is a waste of time. The barrier to entry to things is super low. Now, is it like low, so low that you can just like anybody at any age? No. Can start these things? No. But I was never like classically trained in woodwork. But I've made 4 crosses and like 5 or 6, no, maybe 10 or 12 rings, and a bow tie. I'm making another bow tie. Actually, 2 other bow ties, and I'm gonna make a regular tie. And, and yeah, like the barrier to entry is so much lower than it ever has been in the past. Gone are the days when you have to like mentor with some guy for like 6 months to a year to like learn the base, like learn it, and then you have to master it, and then you have to be like this amazing person. You have to be like born with this gift that like if you don't have it, you don't have it, and you'll never be this like masterpiece artist or masterpiece this. No, and you have to like no, you can just like learn it all on your own. It's really crazy. I was not classically trained in music. I didn't go to music class in any school. I didn't go and learn anything. No, I taught myself how to play the ukulele. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So yeah, I'm just saying, follow your dreams and learn what you want to learn now. Just don't wait for some magical opportunity to like, oh, there you go. Or like don't think, well, I need to like no, like be a genius at this, so I'm not going to ever be smart enough to, or going to afford whatever, the school or the whatever, the equipment. Don't think that way. You do that, you're small-minded and you're going to go nowhere. Think about it in a, oh yeah. And also, go meet people. You know how many people are going to come back to you saying, or like helping you get to where you want to be? So many people. You know the right people, and like connections are the greatest thing ever. You'll find a guy who will teach you how to do this for free. That you will. I got a guy who could in theory teach me how to teach me audio, how to mix mix sound for free. If I was going to come back and use his like actually mix at the church, right? Then I could do it for free. Like and learn it. It's crazy. It's actually insane. I should say that. I should do it. I'll say it tonight if we're going to go into the sanctuary. Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, what I'm saying is like meet the right people. Meet the right people, and you'll get far in life. It's all about connections. It's all about who you know. It's kind of the same thing as like a house where it's like, oh, location, location, location. It's who you know, 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 who you know. If you know the right people, you will get far in life. You could be the smartest man in the world, but if you're an asshole, nobody cares. That's another thing. Or if you know nobody and you're trying to get this from the beginning, you have to be insanely good to actually know what you're doing. Sorry, for the people to actually want to hire you. Or you have to be really impressive. Like, you have to be really impressive what you've done beforehand. I was blah 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 at X company. I was high up here in X company. I was one of the whatever it is. It just doesn't matter. Right? And even there, it's like, yeah, but I don't like you, and I don't want you here. So anyway, I'm just saying the barrier to entry is really low, and there's two things: take what equipment you have already, if it's creative, and just do it. You can find a piece of paper and a pencil and some crayons from the dollar store. Come on, it's not that hard. You can be an artist. Your phone exists. You can be make content, be a content creator. I'm just saying like the barrier to entry is low, and so that's A, and B, go meet people. You have to go to the connection events. My friend was saying, and the videographer was saying, like, I had to go to all these events to learn people. I'm like, oh, to go meet people. I'm like, oh, you suck. I don't want to do that, one, because I don't like talking to people, and B, I gotta know French. Ugh, it's gonna be annoying, but anyway. It's ridiculous, but, like, I have to. I have to do what she did. I wish I could talk to her, but I can't. That's a long story that I'm not going to say here. But yeah, so yeah, personally, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, so I'm just saying the barrier to entry is really low. Go and follow your dreams. Meet the people you like, and things like money and friendships and relationships, love, places to stay, places to live, all that kind of stuff is all going to just fall into place because like you're following what you love, and like you're not stupid when you start this either. Like you're not going to be a dumb dumb. You're not stupid. You're going to be a person who like knows. Okay, I gotta actually know what I'm doing here. I can't just walk into this with zero money, zero knowledge, and just expect, oh, I'm gonna find all the things with all the knowledge and all the money. It'll be great. No. I was gonna wing it the whole time. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's not how that works. That is just not how that works. I'm sorry. That is just not how that works. No, I'm sorry. It's not how that works. So, although I've heard people come out pretty fine with that. I'm like, that was a fluke, though. It's like, no, it was because they're not stupid. They came in with like they had one of those things, either money or knowledge, or they knew people or whatever, right? And I'm not saying, right, it's the greatest or whatever. What I'm saying is, like they had one of those things, one of those like trifectas or one of those elements. So anyway, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying it's super easy to get into things now. Now, should you not go learn all this stuff? Should you not go do this? No, you can't. Should you go invest in stuff if you want? I'm not saying you shouldn't. What I'm saying is, don't think you need some sort of prerequisites to do something. You need, for almost anything nowadays, unless it's professional, a lot of it's just no prerequisites. Just, and I say, there will come a time when people stop, like companies or people hiring people, stop thinking of a piece of paper and start going, well, what can you do for me? What's your portfolio? What's your this, that, and the other thing? What's your what have you done with your life? And what have you done professionally? What I mean by that is like, what's your portfolio look like for me to say a like why like for me to continue hiring you? Like seriously, look, I'm not saying that going to college is a waste of time. I just think it's a waste for all the creative careers. I'm sorry. I think so. But yeah, because they're gonna go. What can you actually do, right? Rather than what do you actually rather than, oh, you have a piece of paper. You have a piece of paper that says you can do this, but you're not showing me anything. There's two people in front of you. One guy has a piece of paper that states, "Oh, I am a fill in the blank." The next guy next to him has no piece of paper, zero piece of paper, none, not one, not even a little bit. But he is showing you all the things he can do, and it's exactly what you want. Who are you gonna hire? Who are you gonna hire? I'm hiring the guy who knows what he's doing, who has done it before. The piece of paper means nothing to me. No, not that that person's not a good person, but like, and again, my friend, the videographer, she did say when I asked her, like, well, this and your thing, why did you come here, blah, 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 yada, yada, or why did you go to college, whatever, university here, whatever, CSHEP here, and she's like, she told me all this stuff, and then she said, I think it's a waste of time, don't do it, it's stupid. But, she said, I don't think learning is a waste of time. I think college and university are a waste of time if you know what you want, and if you know how to get what you want. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no. Damn. Oh, well. I think I actually could still open that, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so personally, I'm with her in that whole way, too. Learning is not useless. I think learning is not useless. What's useless is the useless things you have to go through to get to the end result. Where it's like, but I have to waste my time in this one thing or that thing or this or why? Why am I wasting my life here? What the frick? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why am I wasting my time? Also, why am I taking these? That's what she said. Why am I taking these other classes that have nothing to do with what I'm learning? She goes, because she was talking to one of my other friends, and my other friend wants to go into IT kind of stuff, right? And he found a university where all you do is the one IT thing. There's no waste of your time doing math, science, history, French, and none of that crap. None of that baloney. And I'm like, and she goes, exactly. You would think that that's how like all degrees work. You should just go like, hey, all 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 of them. Obviously, school should work that way. You should be like, no, okay. Elementary school and high school should be where you learn the fundamentals, and the fundamentals die right there. And then if you want to go learn more about those fundamentals, go do that. Go into pure and applied science. Go into history. Go into math, science, history. It doesn't matter. Go for it. I don't give a hoot. I don't care. What I'm saying is, don't you know, um, don't look. Okay, look. Don't sorry. Don't. Whoa. Yeah. Don't make me do that if I don't have to. Let me just choose exactly what I want in want to do. I want to go into videography. Let me learn videography and not math, science, history, French, current affairs. I don't give a damn about any of that. I don't need it. I want this. That's what I think could happen with the future of education, or higher education at least. The future of higher education could be we don't need anything. We need exactly what we need, what we want. We get exactly what we want. Like, meaning, I want to be a painter. I'm only going to learn how to be an artist. I'm not going to go and take classes on math, science, history, French, or any of that current affairs. None of that crap. Stop it. What I'm going to learn is only what I want to learn. I'm not wasting my time in any of this. Because that's a thing. It's stupid. It's actually stupid. Because you're wasting your time. The 4 years you're in college, the 2 to 3 years you're in university, and the 2 to 4 years you're in college, are all wasting your time with all this. Like, well, why am I learning any of this? It's waste. It's stupid. But anyway, what are you gonna do, right? Oh, 10. Okay. No, no. Okay, so yeah. So I'm not saying it's the best or the worst. What I'm saying is, it's just kind of. Oh, okay. Sure, like, and sure, some history is fine, and knowing some stuff is fine. But that's what your freaking high school's for. Not college when you're paying big bucks to go to and you're wasting your time. That's the thing. Her thing was, it's not free. Not that it was super expensive, but it's not free. And so for that whole thing, it's like, well, look, why am I paying for things I don't want? Things that are useless to me. She said current affairs, kind of whatever those things are called, right? Classes are called, whatever they're actually called, right? Right? She's like, you can learn all that by talking to people, by just watching the news and talking to people. It's like, I'm like, yeah, no, really, no shit, Sherlock. Like, yeah, these people don't understand that. These people, I mean, colleges and universities don't understand that. She's just in college and university, don't understand that. It's like, don't give me. And also, I want to say one thing about Quebec. They shove French down your throat. And what I mean by that is things have changed now. So having to instead of having to take French classes, no, now you're taking most of your classes in French, which is a bunch of bullcrap because I'm like, no freaking way am I wasting my time with French classes. Why are my classes in French? Why? Please explain to me why my classes are in French. It's because the French language is dying. And I went, excuse me? No, no, it's not. Although somebody made the point once where they were calling into our local radio station and basically said, we get to learn as an anglophone, we get to learn two languages, right? The francophones don't need to learn English, so they don't know anything. And my mother made the point of, God, the people, the citizens are stupid, and the government is smart. They're realizing we can make them learn French. The rest of the world can function in English, and we can tell them whatever the hell we want. It's like, yeah, you can tell them all this propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, whatever you want. And I'm like, whoa, you can. No, you can't. False information, false news, fake news. Yeah, you can. Because the world runs in English. And Quebec doesn't realize, oh, maybe learning English is a good thing. Because we're not going to stay in Quebec all our lives. I can go to any other part of Canada The Quebecers cannot. The francophone Quebecers cannot. Who only know French, or their first tongue is French, and they're really like proficient in French. It's really a bizarre. It's a bizarre thing to think about because think about it, right? What? Why? Why? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my microphone here, my recorder here. So like that's the thing, right? I don't understand why people don't just like learn English and French. That's the one thing about North America that like people like regret and baffles a lot of people. It's like you don't learn like your mother language and another language. It's like no, we don't have to. Quebec you do, but most of North America just doesn't. Like ask, get 100 people, get 100 people, U.S. citizens, get 100 Americans, right, right, and I'm sure maybe 99, maybe 98, maybe 95 know only English because like they didn't care to learn any other language because they didn't need to. They may know a little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish, but other than that, depending on where they are in the country, but other than that, it's all I only know English. A lot of people regret that, but other people are like, eh. Unless we change the education system completely, that's how it's going to stay. It's going to stay at this like only English, which is fair. Unless you're in Quebec, the rest of Canada, okay. If you want to be a in government, you have to learn French. But other than that, to be honest, you really don't need to know French in the rest of Canada to survive and to live in live. You don't have to. So, which is kind of a little sad, but also like, look, French isn't as important as Quebec makes it out to be. Quebec makes it out to be this like super important thing that we have to really like know what we're we have to really like protect and preserve. And I'm like, come on, from what? No, seriously, but from what? What are you protecting it from? The people who don't want, or the people who just add English into their French and have Fringlish and have this, that, and the other thing? Like, what are you talking about, right? What are you actually talking about right now? I'm not joking. Like, what are you talking about? Because Legault always talks about you got to protect our French. You got to protect our French from what? This isn't the nine. This is becoming the 1970 October crisis all over again, but in the opposite direction. I said to my I think my mother or my parents, there will be a October crisis of English. There will be if Legault keeps being an idiot like this. I'm like, no, they won't. No, they won't. The English don't care about that way. It's like no, they will. They'll riot in the streets if you don't. Because if you want a good, if you want to learn about the October crisis, go look up. I think it's National Film Board of Canada, NFB, National Film Board of Canada, and look up like the October crisis. It's a documentary. I mean, hey, you could look up the one I made, put on archive.org, but okay, which is Mario with a Y23, and it's the October crisis, or actually the October crisis, and it basically explains the French are like, whoa, no French. The French reputation is crap. So they made a literal terrorist organization called the FLQ, Fédération de Langue de Quebec. No, something like that though. Anyway, and they kidnapped two people. They kidnapped Cross, and they kidnapped a French minister, and they kidnapped the ambassador to England, I think, or to Canada from England. Anyway, and they blew up some stuff, and they killed one of the guys. They killed the French guy. I don't think they killed Cross. I think Cross got out. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, their whole problem was everything's in English. Where's our French representation? You people hate us as being French. Everything, and they had a right to say that. They had a. I understand what they're getting at. They're saying everything's in English. Everything's owned by an English Jew, and I'm like, or a lot of things are owned by an English Jew. It's all like, you know, uh, Eaton Center and Canada Post is all English, and this is all English, and like federal this and federal that's all English, and like, yeah, it is. English. Now it's going the complete opposite. Everything's French. There's literally there's like literally a task force called the language police. No, there's an actual name for them. OQLF, I think maybe. No. Anyway, language police that come out and crap all over people. The first time I heard about it, and it's been around for a while. Before that, I think. But the first time I heard about it was when a restaurant was like crapped on. They came in and were like, "You can't have the word spaghetti. You gotta have the French word." And they basically said back to them, replied, "Oh yeah, what's the French word for spaghetti?" And the guy they're like, it's like because Pauline Merois, who was the premier at the time, was going to destroy Quebec. Was going to destroy Quebec. And people were like, no, no, they're going to destroy Quebec. So what happened was, she was all crapping all over everybody. It's got to be French, 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 separatism in French, and French, and French, and French, French. And I was like, please, Lord, do not let her win again. She did a snap election and lost and ran away, and we have not heard of her since. Not heard from her since after her first election. So in so, but she would have destroyed Quebec. I knew friends who said our family's moving if she gets elected again. Anyway, what I'm saying is it's all French. Like everything's French. You gotta know French. You gotta learn French. You gotta be French. You gotta speak French. You're not gonna be served in English in certain places. You're not gonna be served in English for certain things. You're not gonna be served in English for this or that. It's like, excuse me, we're in Quebec, which is in part of what country? Oh, Canada. So, right, right. So, What are Canada's official languages? French and oh, what? Excuse me, English. Officially, yeah, but people like Legault, and then Trudeau agreed with Legault when he said French is the only language in Quebec, not the official language, not the first language, not the more important language, the only language in Quebec. And I went, excuse me, French is the only language in Quebec? Can you wait a sec? Can you say that again? French is the only language in Quebec. And I went, no, I heard that correct. Okay, sure. Thank you. Trudeau can go F himself. Go shove it up your butt. Take the finger and shove it up your butt. You know what I'm talking about. He's an idiot. We are going to be treated. I said to my mother, what was it, like 2019, 2020, somewhere, 2018, something like that. I was screaming at not screaming, I was arguing with my dad. My mother and me were arguing with my dad saying, how the hell are we supposed to live in this country if we don't know French properly? Can I get a job if I don't know French properly? To their And it's not like no French. It's no French to their standards. I'm like to Quebec standards. The pastor of the previous church I was at was hired in 2020 from Wisconsin, knows not a lick of French. Always keeps reiterating that if he doesn't pass Quebec's French exam that they're going to give to him, he is going to be deported. Now, I don't know about deported, but it's going to be one of those, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here kind of thing, right? And so for me, at least, I'm thinking, whoa, and and I've lived here my whole life and I don't know French, so, to their standards, so whoa, man. In my opinion, oy, oy, oy. What I'm saying is, this is my opinion. What I'm saying is, um, and then they're saying is like they're just obsessed with the French. And then I know somebody else, one of my friends I've known for like, oh man, like could be about 20 years by now, but 15 years at least. His wife is from West Virginia or Virginia, one of the two, and she gets off scot free because she's married to him who knows French, so she doesn't have to pass it in the same way he does, the pastor. So I'm like, no, that makes 100% sense. My dad's like, no, that's not how that works. I'm like, my mother went, yeah, it probably is how it works. They probably changed it to be whatever. To be that you have to pass this French test, French exam. And um, he knew people, and I've known people who got deported, or I've heard of stories of people being deported from countries by not knowing the right language. It's like, really? Yeah, and Quebec being one of them. Quebec being, hey, you're being deported from Quebec because you don't know French to our standard. It's like, no way, right? Like, no way, no way. And it's like, no, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm sure that's exactly what it is because that's the like stupid thing that Quebec's gonna do to people. Quebec's gonna be like, well, if you want to be a Quebec citizen, you have to know French to our standards, or we'll kick you out of this out of here. I'm like, can you do that? It's like, yeah, they can. But anyway, yeah, Quebec's bullcrap. Quebec has a bunch of Quebec's crap with the French. French crap is stupid, and I think it's dumb. And the only reason I hate French, the only reason I do not like French, is because it's shoved down my throat my whole life. If I was not shoved down my throat and they said, "Hey, it's all optional," I would have learned French in a heartbeat. I would have gone to a French school probably, but I didn't because it shoved down my throat and I hated French. And I said to my mother, "I'm moving to some country that does not need French." And she goes, I think I said something like, "I'm going to move to England. I don't need French." And then it's like, England has a lot of French because it's right next to France. I'm like, oh shit. Did you know? Did you know that there are more? Is it more or is it bigger? It's one of the two. It's either more people or a bigger physical location of people that speak French. The number one is Quebec. One of those two. It's kind of sad. It's like, wow, France. There's less. There's less. It's either less people or France is smaller physically. So, like, in my opinion, at least, from what I've gathered, what I've seen, see, it's like French. It's so dumb. French is a very useful language because once you learn English and then French, and then you can learn like Italian, Spanish, German, all these languages that all resonate and all come from the same Latin root. But anyway, they shoved French down your throat. It's the only reason I don't like French. It's the only reason. They didn't shove it down my throat as a child. As growing up, I would have been like, oh yeah, I've been more inclined to want to learn French. But hey, I think that's gonna be it for now, guys. So if you want to get in touch with me, there's the email tacoimposters@gmail.com. That's tacoimposters@gmail.com. There's the two Discord servers, and then if you want to contribute financially, there's the Patreon, patreon.com/wingwong. Both W's are capital. WINGWONG. Wing Wong. That's patreon.com/wingwong. Both W's are capital. There's the music if you want to either stream my music or buy my music. And then there's the Etsy store. So I think that's going to be it for now, guys. So adios, mi amigos. Goodbye and God bless.